Nobody knows how to say goodbye. It seems so easy till you try. Then the moments pass you by. Nobody knows how to say goodbye. Nobody knows how to get back home. We set out so long ago. Search the heavens and the earth below. Nobody knows how to get back home. Through the darkness to the dawn. When I looked back, you were gone. Heard your voice leading me on. Through the darkness to the dawn. Love is deep as the road is long. It moves my feet to carry on. Beats my heart when you are gone. Love is deep as the road is long. Oh, love is deep as the road is long.
Philosophers have been throwing out theories for years about what makes humans different than the rest of creation. And there's a lot of ideas out there about what makes us different, something that is true of every person, something that crosses all cultures, something that every human experiences. And it's not grief, because even animals grieve. I would say one theory that I'd like to highlight tonight is that humans have an incredible skill, an innate, untaught ability to be able to look at another person and judge them in a snap. We can do it to each other in microseconds. And it's a skill that makes sense from an evolutionary perspective. When you look at another person, you can judge very quickly whether they're safe, whether they're our kind of people, whether they're friend or foe or kinsman or other. And neurologically, it makes sense because having to think through and to listen takes energy. It takes energy to think and to listen. So those of you who are overthinkers, rejoice. You're burning calories all of the time. So, in our minds, we're able to make these quick pathways. And we have the skill to save space in our head at lightning speed to be able to judge and categorize and rank other people. And this is where grief comes in. Because, as you can see in the program next to my name, is that the purpose of my speaking is simply to give words of welcome. And why I preface words of welcome with a statement about how we love putting labels on things and on other people is that we not only do this for others, we not only rank other people's grief and make split decisions about how other people are grieving, we do this for ourselves as well. We have an incredible ability to judge ourselves, to rank our own grief, to see our own worthiness of our feelings. We do this to ourselves all of the time. And even in the weeks leading up to this service, most people that I would talk to that would say they wanted to come would tell me why they shouldn't. They don't belong here because their grief is just, their grief is only, their grief is too much. In this room are healthcare workers, paramedics, and nurses who are surrounded daily by loss. They hold space and bear witness. And your, hard to define it because it's your job, grief, counts. Because you count. And in this room are persons who have lost a person that they deeply loved. And that person had a long and blessed life, fulfilling their purpose and their role. And your, at least they had a long life, grief counts, because you count. And in this room are persons who have experienced loss years ago. The loss of a pregnancy, the loss that comes with adoption, the loss that comes with abortion, the loss that might be quiet and secret and never seen. And but no one knew about it, and it was years ago. Grief counts, because you count. And some in this room, the term loved one falls kind of flat, because there's no Hallmark card for, I'm sorry your mom was a bitch and was so hard on you all of her life. There's no card that says that in the grief section of Hallmark. But maybe there should be. So you, who would label your grief as it's complicated, your grief counts because you count, and you are welcome here. Those of you who can talk about it, and those of you who would rather not, those of you who want to be asked, and those of you who need privacy, those of you who don't even know what you're grieving this evening. A loss of a friend, a grandparent, a beloved job, a role and an identity, a relationship, perhaps grieving aspects of yourself. You are welcome because you are here. You are loved. You are seen, you are worthy, and you are welcome. And so know that in this welcome that you are free in this space and for the whole of this gathering to relax the judge of your own grief. You can thank the judge because they serve a lovely role, but ask them to say pause. So know that you have freedom in the whole of this gathering if you would like to move from your seat. Even if someone is singing, you can. If you want to step into the next room, you can. If you want to just skip out to the bathroom, they're located at the back, and you turn around the corner. You're welcome to. You're welcome to cry. You're welcome to sit blankly. You're welcome to smile and laugh, because you, in the wholeness of who you are deeply welcome here.
The poem we are about to hear has been attributed to Judah Halevi, a 12th century Jewish poet from Spain. Now, his life is quite distant from ours in time and in geography, and yet his words are resonant even today, even here. We are gathered in the common human experience of love and loss about which the poet writes. 'Tis a fearful thing to love what death can touch, to love, to hope, to dream, and oh, to lose. A thing for fools, this love, but a holy thing, to love what death can touch. For your life has lived in me. Your laugh once lifted me, your world was a gift to me. To remember this brings painful joy. 'Tis a human thing to love, a holy thing to love what death can touch.
Hello, everybody. How is everyone doing right now? We're all right? My name's Sarah McInnes. I was fortunate enough to be here last year when this event took its maiden voyage into this space, and I'm so pleased to be back here again. I would be remiss to say, if I didn't say this, today is the 6-year anniversary of my grandmother's passing, and I thought it was very fitting that today was the day that we all get to gather here, honoring and respecting, of course, that we're all here grieving different things and different people. But today, my grandmother is the person that I'm thinking about. So I want to sing the song that I wrote for her. It's called When Love Lives On. And I wrote it after she died, just processing that. She was a very important person in my life. And I went to the dentist today. She always told me to take care of my teeth, so that also felt appropriate. So this song is for her and for anyone else here that needs to hear it. Well, I've been used and I've been wanted. I've done the haunting and I've been haunted. I tried staying quiet, didn't have a choice. Thoughts in my head making too much noise. Well, I needed to call someone. I picked up the phone, realized all my friends live in different time zones. Your West Coast clock, 4 hours behind. My midnight problems become your evening bind. When love lives on, wishing you were here, now you're gone. And when love leans in, don't you pull away from it. Ooh. We all need a break sometimes. These hands and feet, eyes, heart, lungs, and spine. And when dying comes, seamless as a dream, into another universe, we are born clean. When love lives on, wishing you were here and now you're gone. And when love leans in, don't you pull away from it. And when you were finally ready to leave with the morning dew, well, the floodgates opened for all the questions I spent years not asking you. You said feel everything before you tried to name it, and then run it wild before you try to tame it when love lives on. Wishing you were here, now you're gone. And when love leans in, don't you pull away from it when love lives on. Wishing you were here, now you're gone. And when love leans in, don't you pull away from it. Ooh. Thank you.
In a moment, we're going to have an invitation for you to come to the front to light a candle. It's a very simple, symbolic act that has very ancient roots. And while you have that invitation to simply walk up to the front to light a candle, the Threshold Choir is going to sing for you. And they're a beautiful group of people that aren't gathered for performance. Their role is to sing very quietly, typically at a person's bedside as they're passing over. But the intention of their heart is so beautiful, and we're so honored that they came down to be with us, to carry us over this little threshold. And if you have a little trouble with thresholds, if you have trouble with steps, there's candle lighting here at the floor. So those who have any mobility concerns, feel free to come forward and light one of these candles. How it'll work is I will hold 2 tapers up here, and the first folks who take them, you take the taper and you light a candle, and then you pass it to the next person. If you're here at the floor, though, you can take the taper, light it off a candle, and then blow out that taper and lay it down. And that's all I have to say about that. There is time, there is space, there's also freedom not to light a candle if you don't want to. Also know, you'll see at the very front there's 2 telephones. Those are wind phones. They're not connected to anything. It comes from an artist expression in Japan, the idea of picking up the phone and speaking to your loved one. So at any point during the candle lighting or after the service is finished and you'd like to spend some time at the candles and pick up the phone and speak words to your person, you are very welcome to do that as well. I'll invite up the Threshold Choir and I'll light the candles. Anyone's welcome to come up at any time.
As Sarah said, our songs are often offered at the bedside, and we would invite you to join us in singing these songs if you wish. They are simple, they're from the heart, they're easy to learn, and I'm sure some of you here love to harmonize, and you're very welcome to do that. So please join us according to your inspiration, and listening and receiving is, of course, perfectly welcome as well.
Sending you light. It's pretty poignant to see the lights here and here. Someone on my mind tonight who was a wild and a wonderful man. He was a forester and a farmer and a friend. He was confounding in lots of ways, and I miss him like crazy. And I don't think I said nearly enough when he was with me that I love him. So I wrote about him, and I thank you that I can share some of that tonight. Last year when I stood here, I was remembering my mother, and I still am. But this year I'm also remembering Adrian, who died this year in March. He was an old friend, by which I mean I met him where I used to live, but I moved away from there 3 years ago. Really, he was young. Yeah, like younger than me in almost every way. He didn't get an illness or anything like that. He stepped out of his house and he got into his car and he died on the highway. His partner had to go and see the car. It was impounded and there were investigations and speculation, but so much is still left unknown and so much is still left undone. But I will tell you this, even in the winter back in March, Adrian left so much in the ground. You see, he grew a lot of garlic. He gave me some the year before. I planted 20 cloves. But at his house, they planted 630 cloves. That's a lot of garlic. I asked his partner why they planted so much. And the first thing she said was, well, you've got to plant some to plant for the next year. And that's the way we go, round and round the seasons, planning for planting, for planning, for planting. And then he disappeared. He died. We got the call. It was a Thursday, and on Friday we drove north. His house was filled when we arrived. It was filled with him. The renovations he had made, and he was still making the imprint of him everywhere, on every surface. His things still warm from his touch, left where he left them, seen by him yesterday. He was so close to us in that place, so everybody gathered there to get inside the house that was him as much as anything could be now. It was warm, with the wood stove going and people embracing and everybody moving slowly. The door would open. Cold air would come in with every arrival, though some people departed to go out into the woods or just to drink or walk in silence. That was all too soon to call it remembering. Even the gathering a week later to say words of tribute and sing songs at something called a celebration of life was much too soon for remembering, because remembering, it has its own substance. It is not the utter absence of knowing that someone is gone. And it's not the lingering presence when they have so recently departed. Remembering comes in springtime, when whatever was left in the yard or the garden is uncovered by the melt, and whatever wasn't pulled up in the fall reveals itself, if it survived, as perennial or seed. I spent a lot of time in my own garden this year. It was a year with lots of loss. not just Adrian, but a lot of loss. And blessedly, this has also been a very long growing season, this 2024. Here we are in November, and the earth isn't yet done with giving. So these seasons, they overlap. It's time, again, to plant. Adrian's garlic, all of it, was harvested thanks to friends, and so was mine. Enough to share, enough to keep, enough to put back in the ground for another year. There is no conclusion to this remembering, but in the fading light of this November night, there is a candle. I lit one for Adrian, who I am remembering.
Good evening. Thanks everybody for making this space. My name is Jeremy. My mother lives in Wolfville, and I'm going to tell you about my father tonight a little bit. Bob Lutes. Some of you may have come across him. He would have told you his opinion about something, whatever it might have been. I want to thank my friend Sarah for involving me here, and Nicole, and I want to thank all of us for joining this night, and special note to all the pets. Thank you to all the pets. We love you very much. Bob Lutes left on August 10th, 2023. We had his oldest son. There's two of us, and we had a interesting relationship. I think as a lot of firstborns do. I mean, we all have different relationships with our parents, but I at least used to like to say that he was the finest man, unless you were his firstborn. Then he was complicated. We had a very complicated relationship, and just over 7 years ago, I got sober, and that changed things. And as a result of my sobriety, I was able to make amends with my dad when he was sick, and that was a big deal. And I knew we had become friends. One day, I was now sober, and he's leaving my house in Greenwich, and he's almost to his car, and I'm at the door outside, and he turns around and he goes, "Oh, Jer, one thing." I said, "Oh yeah, what's that?" He goes, "Go F yourself." That was it. That was the moment. A couple of quick things more about Bob. We used the MAID program, and it was August 10th at 4 p.m. There's a story circulating from a friend of his that at 3:30 that afternoon, so 30 minutes before the doctors come in for MAID, he leaves a friend of his a voicemail that says his wife's name, my mother's name is Jane. And the voicemail says, "Mark, it's Bob. And if you don't get back to me till after 4, Jane, I'll let you know what's going on." So and then 5 minutes before the MAID procedure, he gets all of us together. There were a dozen of us there. And he tells us this extremely off-color joke. He was a rather down-the-middle kind of guy, and this was about as filthy as it got, and for this guy. So this is a poem that I've written. I started writing a while ago, and the title is "Where Did You Go?" And it occurred to me tonight that at the moment where they're administering the MAID procedure, the thing I was having a hard time reconciling was, where are you going? You're here and now you're not. And so sometimes poetry comes out a little confusing and complicated, and this one's maybe not so much, but kind of a conversation I wanted to have with my dad. Where did you go? Hey, Dad, where did you go? Are you still at the golf course or buried in snow? Hey, Dad, why did you leave? Some things we didn't get to, but nothing we need. Hey, Dad, how is it now? Are you resting peacefully or working the crowd? Hey, Dad, what happens next? Do we build a strong argument or take down the fence? Hey, Dad, I hope you're proud. After all this time, we can say stuff out loud. Hey, Dad, we'll carry your torch over the mountains and light up the porch. Hey, Dad, I really wish we had one more conversation, but I guess this is it. Thanks, everybody.
I'm going to sing a song by Coco of Alcorn. It's called The River. I know there are some singers in the group here. I invite you to sing if you want, or snap your fingers. Both or neither. Choose your own adventure. I chose this song because I feel like a lot of us, consciously or unconsciously, process the things that happen to us in nature. We go and we seek it out. We go into the woods. We go sit by water. And there's the metaphor itself of how nature reflects what's going on in our life. Things are constantly being created and destroyed. And there's a perseverance there. There's strength. And I just really love that metaphor here because I find that nature witnesses us all the time in our hardest moments. So I chose this song, especially water. I'm a big water person. I know lots of people are. So this is how the chorus goes. So I'll sing it, and then you can sing it back, and then we'll just start the song, okay? I'm going to snap my fingers just like this, and you're welcome to join or not. So the chorus goes like this, and then you'll repeat it. Water, heal my body. Water, heal my soul. When I go down, down to the water, by the water, I feel whole. Water, heal my body. Water, heal my soul. When I go down, down to the water, by the water, I feel whole. The river is a healer. The river is a sage. The river knows no ending. The river feels no age. The river is a leader every single day. It's living in the moment and it always finds a way. Water, heal my body. Water, heal my soul. When I go down, down to the water, by the water, I feel whole. The river calls me over, it's calling out my name. In the day and in the night, I hear the river all the same. It's calling me over, calling out my pain. Oh, the river gathers tears just like the river gathers rain. Water, heal my body. Water, heal my soul. When I go down, down to the water, by the water, I feel whole. The river is a traveler. It's always on the go. A river never worries if it's fast or if it's slow. River, take me where I need to go. Oh, I will just relax and let the river
Hi everybody, I'm Tina, and this is Holly. And tonight we're going to read a poem called Wonder Counts, taken from the book of poetry, Wonder Ache by John Roedel. Screaming into our pillows until we lose our voices counts as a prayer.
Going outside every evening to watch a sunset fight against the pull of the inevitable horizon counts as watching the news.
Spending an extra 10 minutes in the shower in the morning to keep them from seeing us cry counts as leisure time.
Saying thank you and I love you to the people we need to say those things to while they're still alive counts as replying to an email.
Pouring out the contents of our heart to a gravestone once or twice a year counts as decluttering.
Sitting under a tree in the park and listening to music on a September morn counts as going to church.
Gracefully avoiding all the triggers and traps that despair lays out in our path every day counts as dancing.
Looking for angels who are living among us counts as bird watching.
Removing judgmental people in our life counts as starting a new diet.
Letting children see the tears fall from our eyes without any shame counts as parenting.
Trying to catch our jagged breath to keep ourselves from having massive panic attacks before work counts as jogging.
Turning off our cell phones and putting them in a drawer counts as going camping. Everything we do in 2025 to keep ourselves from giving up counts. It all counts. Be kind to yourself as you hold it all together. To keep your heart from sinking amid the tempest is a sacred act of survival. Keep going. No matter how weird it looks, every paddle you take towards shore counts. Keep going.
It all counts. Everything you are doing to stay with us counts. Persist, my love, because you are meant to exist. Keep going. I love you. Keep going. Thank you.
How's everyone doing now? We're so grateful that you all came out tonight. It blew me away last year and again this year. I just think this type of thing is so important. We chose this song. Nicole suggested it to Emily and I. And the chorus, I'm going to teach it to you because I just heard what great singers you are. So it goes like this. It goes, leave what's heavy behind. Can you try that with me? Leave what's heavy behind. Beautiful. So whenever that comes around and you want to sing, we would love that. And I think if anything that you leave behind when you go today is that judgment piece that Sarah spoke so eloquently about. I was excited to hear her introduction because I remember how great it was last year. And I think that is so true, all the ways that we judge ourselves for the ways that we feel about the things that happen in our lives. So this is called Heavy. If you're lost and you're lonely, go and figure out why. Take a trip to your dark side. Go on and have a good cry. 'Cause we're all lonely. We're all lonely together. I want to see your sadness. I want to share your sins. I want to bleed your blood. I want to be let in. Don't you just, don't we all just want to be together? Leave what's heavy. What's heavy behind? Leave what's heavy. What's heavy behind? If your face is down, take a look around. Do your fingers move? Do your lungs inflate? Are you tired? Are you weary of the hidden hate you've been holding? Hey, did you lose that love or you never had it? Are you feeling sad 'cause you did a bad thing? Hey, what's heavy behind? Leave what's heavy. What's heavy behind? You can repeat this next part with us if you'd like to. It's pretty easy to catch on to. Sing along. Are you feeling fearful, brother? Are you feeling fearful, sister? The only way to lose that fearful feeling, replace it with love that's healing. Are you feeling fearful, brother? Are you feeling fearful, sister? The only way to lose that fearful feeling, replace it with love that's healing. Leave what's heavy. What's heavy behind? Leave what's heavy. What's heavy behind?
These words are from Richard Wagamese in his brilliant little book, Embers. We approach our lives on different trajectories, each of us spinning in our own separate shining orbits. What gives this life its resonance is when those trajectories cross and we become engaged with each other for as long or as fleetingly as we do. There's a shared energy then, and it can feel as though the whole universe is in the process of coming together. I live for those times. No one is truly ever just passing through. Every encounter has within it the power of enchantment, if we are willing to look for it. And so, beloved, as you go forth tonight, don't go too far from each other too quickly, but know that we are entangled with one another, especially now, especially here. And as you go forth from this gathering, know that you are followed and surrounded and filled with a great love, greater than we will ever know. Go in peace, tonight, each day. May I say, I love you. Good night.
And since you've been singing so beautifully tonight, we'd love for you to join us in this song and singing the last line of every verse. It's very simple. They are with you as you go. They are with you as you go. So that's how we'll end every verse, the first 4 verses, and the last verse ends, love is with you as you go. Love is with you